How's it going, guys? It's MrSpirit here, and today's just a simple video. I am doing this voice directly live. I've had requests for some of my loadouts and all that, so I'm actually going to break it down into a little three-part series, and I'm going to go over all 9 classes loadouts, but I'm going to do 3 at a time, and we're going to start with the offense classes. The next one will be the defense classes, and the last one will be the support classes. So these are just loadouts I use. You can use them yourself if you want to, but this is what I personally use. And I do have some slight variations, but I'm not going to cover all of them, or else I just go on and on forever about my loadouts. So the HUD you're seeing here, I've also been asked, is MKHud. Whispering Pyro, aka Hardass Johnny, uses it, and from what I've used so far, it's a pretty nice HUD. Very clean, very simple. The only thing I really have complaints about is I can't create a custom server to go practice Jump Academy on, but that's okay. So let's start with the Scout. Now this is my most standard loadout, being a scattergun, Mad Milk, and the Rap Assassin. The Rap Assassin is more of I want a weapon that I can just throw something out just for a little additional damage, but it's not going to be used to melee kill people, and I have a few kills on it. But the bleed is what I really want, because it's one way to catch a spy out if the ornament lands near him. The other way to catch the spy is the Mad Milk, cover him with it. It's also a team support weapon in my mind that, hey, if I cover a bunch of the enemy team with it, my team taking shots at them is going to heal back any damage to a degree and maintain themselves in the battle a little bit longer than they normally would. So there's that, and I use it as spy checking as well, and extinguishing teammates. It's a triple threat, pretty much. But the stock scattergun, high damage output, reliable, 6 rounds in the clip. It's perfect for what I need it for. So my next loadout I use is the Force of Nature, Guillotine, and Sandman. Now most of you might know this as the Annoying Scout set, which is very true. It is very annoying. But it's not why I use it. What I use it for is I use the Force of Nature as mobility and high damage output at close ranges, and then I use the Sandman as either a gap closer or mixed with the Guillotine as a high damage output / instant kill. Now it's not 100% reliable unless you practice really well and you predict where the person's going, but the Sandman is definitely a good gap closer with its stun ball to be able to get those meat shots with the Force of Nature. The Guillotine with its fast recharge time just makes great for a throw. Even if it's blind, you're going to hit something, hopefully, and if you do, it's going to bleed for a few seconds, and that's some damage output there. And who knows, the person that it hits may be stunned from something else. So this is one of my favorite sets. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's very fun. I suggest at least giving it a try. It is good. So my next set is my Sandman stock scattergun stock pistol. I usually use this as a gap closer, or a little bit of, hey, I want to take care of that sniper. If I at least stun him, he's now not much of a threat, even if it's just put him in the slow stun animation. That's fine too. It helps deal with long range. The pistol allows me to deal with sentry guns and finishing off opponents if I run out of rounds in my clip for the scattergun. It's overall a set that I use to, okay, I have less health than usual, time to play a bit more cautious and play a bit more smart, and I can get rewarded with a gap closer / stun something long range. Hell, I may even hit a medic with the ball and stun him and make it easier to drop his Uber. But I always will have that stock scattergun in this loadout just because it's such a reliable damage output, whether it be medium or close range. And the last set I use is the Criticola with the Force of Nature for a massive damage output. And the Rap Assassin is just a little bit of chip damage if I have to run away. And hit the ornament, last little bleed, hopefully they die. But I know a lot of people don't like this set because the scout goes really fast and puts out a lot of damage. But that's the thing, I'm relying on killing someone within 2 shots. So that means if I don't kill someone in 2 shots and they don't die from the bobble from the Rap Assassin, I'm wasting my time being near them. It's more of a, I get in, get those shots off, get out, and then set up all over again. I don't want to stick around for the fight if they're going to live. If they have a little bit of health left, who knows, they may get lucky and get a crit off and kill me. But it's definitely a fun loadout. I don't use it a lot, I really don't, but I do use it on the odd time, just if I'm bored and I want a fun little experience to just challenge myself by taking more damage and getting in just a burst meat shot. So that's my basic loadouts for the scout. Next we'll do the soldier. Now with this loadout, it's just your standard roamer 6s loadout. Just a stock rocket launcher, some gunboats, and your escape plan. Just easy, roaming, nothing too special about it. I will sometimes switch out the gunboats for a shotgun, and that's if I'm going to play a pocket versus a roamer style soldier. It works, it's standard, you'll see a lot of soldiers using it in pubs. Overall, it's an A-OK loadout. Nothing too fancy, just perfect for your player wanting to learn a bit more about soldier. So my next loadout is my Sentry Destruction loadout. I run the direct hit, so I can deal with enemies up close with an instant kill of high damage, and also to deal with sentries at range and put up a lot more pressure onto an engineer, because the direct hit's extra damage is going to force the engineer to back off. I also use it if there's someone using the base jumper too, because it's hilarious hitting people with the mini crits while they're using the base jumper just to force them down. And sometimes it costs them the crater because they forget they're up in the air. But it's also a good anti-sniper weapon in a way that I can throw rockets at him faster, forcing him out of the scope more, instead of, oh, I can take my time, fire, unscope, and get away. The direct hit, overall, great if you can practice your aiming. Not very good at AoE. Like, it has reduced explosion radius, but it's very good at the additional damage and mini-critting your airborne targets. Then I run the shotgun with this because if I run out of rockets, I really, really need something that I can fall back and rely on. Or if I am at low health and I don't want to have my rocket launcher out in case I hurt myself, the shotgun's a great alternative. It's got good damage output, and it's pretty similar. It's basic hit scan. It can be used to protect myself, others, and even just finish off chip damage if someone's running away and I don't want to reload a rocket. So it's got multi-purposes to having the shotgun in the set. Then I also run the disciplinary action. Since I don't have gunboats, I take a lot more damage while rocket jumping. So if I can reduce the amount of times that I have to rocket jump by whipping players, I'm not only speed boosting myself, but I'm speed boosting them as well, meaning I've got more players at the front with me. It also works pretty good because it has a sword's hitbox, so it has an extended hitbox, and it's also been known to kill players in behind you for some reason, which is just hilarious seeing it. But it's more or less good for the speed boost, which also does add on to your rocket jumping. So if you whip someone, then rocket jump with it, you will get a bit further distance on it. So it makes good for a nice bomb, even with the direct hit. You use that speed boost, jump, come flying in, sentry trying to track you. You'll probably get in behind it, and then you get another angle to shoot the sentry from that's going to annoy the engineer to death. Next is my fast scout loadout, or soldier scout loadout. It's pretty much one you'd expect. It's the rocket jumper, a shotgun, and a market gardener. If I'm feeling fun, I'll throw on the man treads. Basic soldier loadout. Nothing too special about it. Jump really fast, get to where you're going, shoot someone down, or market garden them, get away. In, out, done. Nothing special about it. And the last one is my survivalist loadout, with the black box, the gunboats, and the escape plan. I have one reduced rocket, so I usually use this on a defense more. The gunboat's there so I can jump around, but you could also use this on offense too, if you're careful with the gunboats. I would equip the conch, but I do not own a conch. I don't own a lot of weapons, so there's a lot of things that I can't do. I don't have a battalion's backup in that. And I'm not going to ask for your items either. It's just, I will get them. I had all these strangers and I sold them all and all that. But that's fine. I can work with what I'm given. So, the black box is great because that health return with up to 20 health on hit, which is why they have gain up to instead of just gain 20. It used to be pretty broken with no matter what you hit, and then every one that you hit you gained as well, so it was pretty broken. Its fix was well deserved, but it's still a good weapon. I know a lot of people complain about black box conch soldiers, but it's a good combo if you're away from your medic and you just need to be able to either constantly gain health or reduce the amount of damage that you take from yourself. But you do have to be careful if you decide to bomb with this weapon, that because you're going in, you're going to use one rocket, then you're going to have 2 to fight with, then you have 0 to retreat with. So unless your jump allows you to get that reload in, be very careful if using this loadout. So that's my soldier loadouts. I still like this one the most because it's what I've grown to love so much, is the gunboats. And lastly, we have the Pyro. Now we have my most favorite loadout, just complete stock. Flamethrower, stock. Nothing special about it. I restore health when I air blast, I can reflect projectiles. Nothing special. Shotgun. I can get people at range if they're retreating out of the range of my flames. Once again, simple, nothing special about it. And the fire axe, because what's more insulting than dying to a fire axe pyro? Because it's stock, and pyro stock is worthless because you could do that amount of damage with the shotgun or the flamethrower as fast as you could with the fire axe. Yeah, it's just, I love stock pyro. I've played with stock pyro so much, so it's so worth it for me. Others, you may want to do the power jack, which is fine, or you may do a flare gun and power jack. I don't care, but this is my setup. My second setup is my practice pyro for air blasting. Now, you may think, well, the backburner is a stupid idea to use for air blasting, but if you think about it, you're giving up 50 ammo to air blast, which means you only have 4 instead of your 10 with stock and 8 with degreaser. So this teaches you a bit more about ammo consumption and practicing your timing and all that. So it is a little awkward in that, but the backburner does make a good learning tool if you practice air blasting with it. It also makes a great flanking practice too, because you get rewarded with critical hits on enemies. But I like it for the air blast. I have the man melter there in case I need to put out teammates and I have no ammo, so it's my fallback while practicing to at least still be a team player in a way, because there's nothing worse than having a backburner pyro that can't put you out because of lack of ammo, but wants to put you out. So my man melter's more of my teammate air blast because it doesn't take any ammo to remove the flames off of them with it. And the extinguisher, it's more of just of a joke there. So if I light them on fire and I want to have a good laugh at them instead of just critting them down, I'll pull out the extinguisher and hit them with it. I know it's got so many low stats, but you don't notice it once you get used to it. It's all about learning, and once you practice with it, you'll get used to it again, and overall, it's just a little fun weapon, especially with this set, because you can get flame long range with crits if you put out teammates. You can crit people. It's got crits everywhere in this set. You can call it a critical set, but I think of it more as a practice set. It's good if you really want to practice air blasting a bit more. It doesn't guarantee you're going to get good at it right away, but it does punish you for spamming air blast, not watching your ammo count, and not timing your air blast correctly. So the next one is a set that a lot of people don't like, and that's the Phlogistinator. I use Detonator instead of the Scorch Shot just because I feel guilty using the Scorch Shot because it's too easy. The Detonator, it's at least a bit more. You hit one person, it doesn't spread to everyone. You hit the detonate button and you can get some multiple people. So it's a bit more rewarding and challenging. I like a good challenge. But it's also good for moving around too. So jumping into little nooks and crannies where people aren't going to expect you, which is perfect for the Flog. If you get up in behind them without knowing you're there, taunt with your Flog and then mow in behind them. And the Flog, yeah, I don't mind it. I really don't, because sure, you're invincible while you taunt, but if you're taunting in front of me after I've hit you, I know you're going to have crits, and I know you're going to try suicide. And if you try that suicide route, you are most likely going to die, which then means I just got a free kill, you're back at respawn. No worries. Sure, I may die in the process, but a 1-for-1 kill, if I'm one using it, I'm most likely going to wait till I have near full health or an overheal, taunt in an area where you're not going to see me, then jump you, which is the proper use of the Flog, and why the Flog was built to begin with, is to play the old Pyro style without air blast, and that's talking 2007, no air blast exists Pyro. So it's a reward weapon. If you play smart, you get rewarded smartly, and then it can just snowplow. It's also known as a win more weapon. If you're already winning, you might as well whip it out and watch the enemy team lose even more. Then for my melee, I use the power jack, and that's once again to get around back to the front, to get through flank routes and all that. It can help you make a few jumps because of the speed. Detonator's where it's at, but the power jack does help with that mobility. It's nothing too crazy, and 25 health if you kill someone with it out, but you take more damage while you have it out. It's sort of a, unless I'm not getting hit with it, it's really not that good. I like the old 75 health on kill with it. If it was still 75 health with the 20% damage, I'd love it even more, and probably try for a melee kill a bit more. But the 25 health just doesn't seem with it. The speed boost is where it's at for it. And the final one is the Highlander style Pyro with the degreaser, the shotgun, and the power jack. But you can replace the shotgun with the flare gun. I do not own one, so I use the shotgun. But the shotgun's reliable anyways. I do not use the reserve shooter with it. I know there are pirates that use it. It has its advantages, its disadvantages. I'll make a video on my opinions of the reserve shooter fully one day. It's one of those weapons that it's good and it's bad at the exact same time. And there's so many people that argue about it. Like, in pubs, yes, it's good. In Highlander, it's terrible. It's got its ups and downs. But I run the degreaser not for the damage, but for being able to sting and control and help my team. So pretty much light the guy on fire, put him in a corner, shotgun him down. So he's not going to get much. It's also a good way to deal with a heavy. Light him on fire, switch to your shotgun, put meat shots on him. And even if he lives, he may just have that little bit of health left and the fire takes him out. And the power jack, once again, movement, get around, and with that faster weapon switch speed, it does make it a little bit more useful to try and get that melee kill, but use at your own discretion. But that's pretty much all for Pyro as well. I have nothing else to say about it. Pyro is one of my favorite classes, to say the least. He's not my absolute favorite. That falls to Sniper. But Pyro is definitely one of the ones I like to have fun with. And as you may have noticed, this is my cosmetic loadout. I finally completed it. I have an unusual Chrome Stone, which I've been wanting for a while, and I got one that is an effect that's neat. It's not overly vibrant that says, hey, shoot me, I'm over here. But it's also a low amount of them exist, being one of 4. And then, as you've seen a lot lately, is my Aces High Antlers, which are very nice. It just fits the moose so much. MrSpirit, the Guardian Moose. Like, it's so perfect to have those antlers. And then I always wanted a pair of strange Professor specs. Like, I have Professor specs. I finally got a Strange Fire for it. So now I actually have my Strange Professor specs. Before I didn't like using them because it's like, well, I'm not gaining anything out of them. And finally getting a Strange Fire for it, awesome. Now I've got the loadout that I've always wanted. So that takes care of the offensive classes loadouts, and the next one will be the defensive classes, the engineer, the heavy, and the demo man. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully you'll like the next loadouts video. And just as a heads up, next Sunday there won't be a TF2 video because I am going to be out at my parents' place for Christmas Day. So instead of a video coming out that Sunday, I'm releasing a video that Saturday, Christmas Eve. So there'll be a video on Christmas Eve to watch instead of Sunday. I know it's a little upsetting, but it is the holidays, and I do love my family very much, so I want to be able to spend it with them, and I still want to give you guys a little something for Christmas too. And I will be doing an actual Christmas video. It won't be TF2, but it is a Christmas video that I hope you guys will enjoy. So I'll see you guys all on Wednesday with Warframe. Bye bye.